I waited for an hour in my in like a waiting room to see my therapist.
Uh
Like I arrived like 15 minutes early and then ended up being called back an hour late.
huh.
Well, 45 minutes late, but who's counting?
You are.
Hey, I was really questioning. Like, they were shutting down the place. I was like, am I gonna be called back?
They're getting ready to like close, and you were just sitting there.
Yeah, it was,
Like I got for my appointment.
yeah, I just,
Someone
like,
was having a real rough day.
yeah, it's just like, I check in, and then I'm sitting down for about 30 minutes. It's past, it's like 6 o'clock. My appointment was at 5:30. It's like, I go up to the counter, and there's no one there. No one's at the counter to, like, greet me or anything. It's like, I was just gonna go check to make sure I was, all checked in and all. Because, like, I don't know, maybe I did something wrong. That's a highly possibility.
A highly possibility.
Yeah, highly possible.
Yo! I got FNAF Help Wanted.
Nice, nice. I've had that. It scares the living crap out of me.
Cool. Can I scare the dead crap out of you?
I don't know.
Also, what's the difference between dead and living crap?
There's like a fine line, you know, kind of like a fine wine. So I was editing a Uno video where I was playing alone like the sad, pathetic man I am against bots, and the game was just utterly just relentless. It just screwed me over at every turn.
I got a giant boomerang.
A giant boomerang?
Yeah, this thing's huge.
Yeah, many people talk about it too. Hey, Trayson joined. How's it going?
Well, holy crap. Alrighty, well,
Welcome to the
Okay,
discussion, Trayson.
I made it. This is not very professional. I'm walking to my house right now. wasn't quite ready, but yeah.
Well, you're the one being unprofessional, not me. I'm being quite professional.
Yeah, well, I said I wasn't ready, so that's part of the reason. Also, I kind of just got home from my dad's, so I was trying to unpack.
Yeah,
Where's Peeber? Stupid or something.
Oh my god, I had this entire conversation with him about multitasking, and he can't join the call and continue talking. He can do that.
I'll eat you.
Hey! We were not totally just talking about you, Peter.
I heard my name.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about Peeber.
We were just talking about how...
Okay, listen, give me like 3 more seconds and I'm going to be able to hear all of you. Right now it sounds like you're all whispering.
It just gives me a good excuse. It's like, my dog ate my homework? No, my cat scratched my homework.
Type thing.
Yeah.
I actually need to turn people down now because it's way too loud.
You turned us up too much now, Peter.
Listen, I turned you guys
too
to
happy.
max because my phone was quiet.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
Do I sound fine?
Yeah, you
Yes,
sound
you-
fine.
yes,
You
you sound
sound
good.
fine. So I forgot what
Yes.
roles I gave you
I
people.
died like 7 years ago. I am
bumbling.
I'm stumbling.
no, why? No, I'm bumbling. You're tumbling.
No,
he's.
I can make a case for
Alex
myself
is
for being bumbling.
This is tumbler,
I'm tumbling.
and Peter is the fumbler. There we go. Yeah. I don't know. I just made that up off the top of my head.
I feel
No,
like
you just casually actually you got every single
Make
thing
lists
right,
right there.
but in the wrong order. Who is
Wait, what?
Alex? Alex is tumbling. You
Okay.
are fumbling. Wyatt is bumbling, and I am stumbling.
I'm fumbling. Well, who has the worst hand-eye coordination? In that case, we can tell who's fumbling.
I
I'm
mean,
tumbling.
I don't think we can
Tracy's
test.
tumbling.
Okay, I got my phone.
Tumbling.
I got my phone. Never mind.
Okay.
Peter stumbling.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
I don't know how we're gonna start the podcast. Like, what's the opening? Welcome to the Bumbling
Tumbling.
And fumbling.
And stumbling.
Idiots podcast. Here, I am
Yeah.
bumbling.
I'm tumbling.
And I'm fumbling the balls around like football.
Well,
And
you're
I can't
fumbling.
keep my feet together because I'm stumbling.
He's stumbling down the hill.
He's fumbling with balls, alright.
Fumbles and
Anyway.
tumbling, stumbling.
Casually frolics down a mountain.
I can't catch one of the crap. That's why I don't play baseball.
Alright, so,
So-
today's topic, kiddos, is camping. Whoa.
Dun dun.
Yeah.
The wonderful sport I never did.
I
Except
love
in
Boy Scouts. We camp a lot. It's amazing.
So-
the outdoors
So,
and
who should go
mosquitoes.
first? Who should go first with their little funny story?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never done camping, except whenever I was house sitting a house and just actually used a tent on their porch, and then we just kind of slept there for the night. I wasn't even the one house sitting. It was my friend, and he just kind of invited me over.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey,
Alright.
Come over,
Slept in
man.
front of their house. It was fun. Only camping experience.
So,
Ladies and gentlemen, listen up.
I don't know how many of you know this camp, but it's Camp Allen.
I do.
Yeah.
Well,
told me about it.
Trayson, I'm pretty sure you would know what that place is. So, any of you that know Camp Allen, there's this hill.
Yeah, I do.
There's this hill, and there's a slide. They're like this
Big
big black tubing that goes
yes,
down the
slide.
hill, and there's a little landing
The
pad.
plastic,
I think I
and
can
as
tell
you go down, it vibrates your butt a lot.
I think I can tell my own story.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, this is because that was pretty fun though. I'm getting caught up in it. Sorry.
We didn't start this to talk over each other, alright?
Sorry, I'm very invested.
so
Sorry, just have to remember it's uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Trace, yes, me. I know 3.
oh yeah, that actually
Anyway.
lined up somehow. Anyway, there's this big black slide, and my troop goes camping at Camp Allen. We're inside in our own little rooms. A big mess. Like the first night, like a couple people are singing "Rockabye Baby" down up and down the hallway all night. Like, people are crawling around on the bunks in their, like, underwear. It's dark in there. And then the next day, there's snow outside. It's nice and cold, and nice and warm inside. But a friend of mine is like, hey, we can go outside. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, let's go outside. Let's slide on that slide outside. So I go outside, and I go down the slide first, and well, it's a slide. You got to get a running start at that. So I
Yeah,
run
Something
and
tells us.
Big hill too.
so I run
slide.
and jump onto that slide, and I go rocketing down it at high speeds because
no.
because there was snow,
Ice
right?
plus down gravity.
It's a 55 zone.
So it was the slide was lubricated, okay?
Lubricant.
Lubricated with the snow.
So you know that little white landing pad? That didn't do anything. I go shooting off of that at the speed of light. My feet touch the ground, and I take a couple steps before face planting into the muddy ground.
What?
Did you say, Ma, I lost a tooth?
I didn't lose any teeth, surprisingly.
Surprisingly.
No, I just scraped
Didn't
the
land
hell
on
out
a
of my
rock
knee.
awkwardly?
I-
Give yourself a boo-boo.
in a more recent trip, Trayson, I'm pretty sure, saw this. I ran down and slid down the slide. I don't know if I was rocketing off of it. I was running down the slide because I'm a smart person that makes smart decisions. I was running down it, and I couldn't brake. So I continued running.
Yeah, you won't.
You're gonna break.
I ran past the landing pad and I jumped. Now, right after this landing pad was a giant rock. And I knew if I had just stopped and tried to stop, I would bust my butt or face open on that rock. So I cleverly jumped at the end, did a nice little roll.
Nice.
How
graceful.
No, I was fine in that story. I was pretty good.
Oh, you were fine in that story. Yeah.
Yeah. Not every story has to be of hurt.
That is very true.
Everyone. But yeah, good job. Amazing. I remember that one.
Emotional hurt.
Emotional hurt.
just emotional damage. You'll live.
Emotional damage.
So just like, I'm so embarrassed of this.
Humility.
Yeah. So essentially, right, this was when I was still in the Cub Scouts, and we went and we camped at a certain place, and there were like all kinds of activities and stuff, and I remember like doing like axe throwing and whatnot. But like one night, and I believe it was like getting darker. It wasn't quite nighttime yet. We were, they got us all up in a group. They're like, all right, so we're gonna go hunt some zombies.
Wow.
And
you do.
Like you did this casually.
And so they had like everyone went, but I, as a kid at that age, I was probably like 6 or 7. I was scared of
it was real.
I was scared of everything. So I legitimately just like ran back to the tent in fear, and so like eventually I wheeled up to I'm like, I gotta go. I really want to do this. It sounds really fun, and so I go up to, like a thing, and my mom, I think, brings me over to I guess a guy who'd stayed back or something. He's like, look, all you gotta do to the zombies is say no and cross your arms like this and
say no. It works.
No. That's how we solve the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. That's the way to ward off a zombie.
Have consent to eat your brains.
So by the time everything had transpired, everyone was already coming back, and so I was like, well, all right. And I have not been able to not be embarrassed by that since then. It is so bad.
Just starts running into multiple zombies. No, don't touch me with that. No.
Starts flossing.
You cannot fight no. So sorry, but my God.
I gotta say, I was terrified I was terrified for camping back when I was young like that. I never stayed the night on a campout actually. When I was young.
A long time. I want to go camping again.
Oh, join the Boy Scouts of America.
No.
Amazing. You had the most fun in your life.
Or
some trauma, who knows?
Or apply for summer camp staff at Camp Llewellyn. Passed out
so
like midday.
Everyone passed it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did at one point too.
Interesting.
Because sleep deprive.
Sleep
depression. Lovely.
Never mind. Amazing. Yeah.
I love sleep depression.
You sleep so much. So
what's wrong? I'm sleeping too much.
I'm sad from sleep. Well, you see, I didn't write down any script for me to say, so I'm gonna freehand this.
You think we did?
Well, that's kind of what you do.
Well, I thought that y'all would have pre-thought this.
Oh yeah, I've had this in my head for months.
Well, I guess you could call it that. I knew something I wanted to kind of talk about, but it wasn't.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that I told you all the subject matter.
Yeah. I thought about it off and on though, but so camping.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be about Boy Scouts with this man called Wyatt.
All right, that's it. I'm leaving the call. No,
in Boy Scouts,
The big bumbling Boy Scout.
The bumbling boy. Exactly. So this one camp out, it was back in me and Wyatt's 8th grade year. I forgot how old both of y'all are, so I just say
during
me and him.
COVID, we're all the same age, Trayson.
Yeah, well, it was during COVID, and we went down on a mystery trip down to Alabama
not during
and Mississippi. Well,
Actually,
I'm pretty sure you know what this is.
Oh yeah, no. So
Yeah.
COVID was the new trend. You see, COVID was the new trend. It was all the rage in.
Oh, yes, I love that trend.
It was all the rage in China, and it had when we finally.
The new rage was hiding in your bedroom.
So anyway, when we finally got back from this mystery trip, the school had actually shut down for the rest of the year. So when we first went on that trip, it hadn't gotten that bad. Air quotes.
Okay, camping story ain't done yet. So, okay, so I'm dyslexic. What was I saying? Oh yeah,
that's dyslexia.
Alabama and Mississippi. So on the mystery trip, it was like 4 or 5 days, and the main topic. One of the main topics of the whole trip was going to the Civil War battlegrounds and going throughout like a tour of the land and what happened in the Civil War and stuff, and yeah, cool. And then after we did that with the troop, we all walked around the place and we found spots and like old castle ruins or something. But yeah, quite fun stuff. And the place where we slept at, besides like 3 churches on the way there and back, we slept on a battleship named the USS Alabama. Quite fun. It was a World War II battleship, and it was trying to remember from my own memory. Why, you could probably help with this. It was big. There were
it was quite the small ship actually.
Antique things. Yeah, it was only like 10 foot long, but without with some machine guns on the side,
I mean, it was quite the sight.
So in all reality, it was a massive ship, and it had a museum in it, like a theater room. And
I remember watching that documentary like 2 or 3 times because it was so interesting.
With the bombs going off. Yeah, actually, fun fact: my dad went with us then.
Oh yeah, I remember. I was so tired that one night that there was this gauge thing, and it said density, but I was so tired that I was like, destiny. And I was like, wait a second.
I remember that. But yeah, so
guys, I think I'm reliving my destiny.
Oh man.
So the ship was quite fun. It was one of the best trips I've ever been on myself, and it wasn't like a camp out in the woods because it was on a battleship and some churches here and there. But yeah, but then anyway, so I forget which night it was, but we had a game of not like hide and seek, but we had to find a soda can, and the soda can was hidden. It was somewhere on the ship. Like you gotta run around to the bottom deck, right in the food area, to the very top deck, in the very front of the ship. It could be anywhere. And I remember it was me and you, Wyatt. We were
remember playing tag
team.
But I don't remember a can. Can you explain?
We had to find the entire troop. I can explain. Okay.
I swear I'm not making anything up.
I swear I could just listen along. So the can was a can of Coke, the family friendly Coke. Okay, family friendly.
Family friendly.
But okay, mostly. So anyway, so we could have been anywhere on the entire ship. Now, me and Wyatt looked in the main top room, like the cafeteria or something first, and then we went outside. We went outside on the main deck, and it splits because you have the command center in the middle. So me and Wyatt had said, okay, so I'll go right, you go left, and we went around it on the left side of the deck and the other side of the ship of deck, and guess who found it?
I don't remember.
A
anything.
random pelican.
Uh,
I felt
spawned in the sea.
a lot. But no, I found it. That's not yeah, because it was so weird how I was there, and I was walking by, and I see at the corner of my eye a little red dot in the midst of a metal seat on like a turret or something. I'm like, hey, there it is. Like, well, look at there.
you know what I
so-
think actually happened? I think
Yeah.
I went to sleep, and then you were like, "Oh, let's make up a game in my head."
I'm telling you, it happened. Trust me.
I definitely
So,
remember a
honestly,
game of
yeah.
tag, a hide and
Yeah.
seek.
Either
but-
one of you has dementia or the other one has schizophrenia.
I don't know. Maybe it's
Might be
both.
of us, to be honest. I don't
Either
know.
way, it's not a good combo.
Well, either way, I'm telling you, it was true. Okay, and I found the soda and I drank it.
And then you're the one that found the can. Therefore, there is no proof of this game's actual existence.
But like a
The guy
scout
who
in the
took
troop,
a,
who was the
poop
son,
on the
the
school
son
roof.
of the what?
I mean, I'm just stating fact here. He took a dump on the school roof.
He's the one?
Yeah, he's the one.
That yeah, like
Was he the
Anyway.
super pooper trooper that shat on the roof?
Yeah.
I think
So
before
he was
that,
also the
he
he was also
Yeah,
the
except for
person
the
in
can,
my
yeah.
story that was singing "Rockabye Baby."
I thought this was about camping.
Well, I do
Yes.
mean he did drop on the
the school roof.
The mystery of the
Yeah,
school
so-
pooper.
So the hide and seek game to find the can was
ghost poop.
was one, and yeah, other fun things. Also, we slept in the barracks of where all the sailors had slept in World War II, in the actual beds of chains, like a plastic mat for a bed. Like,
Fun fact: my pillow fell off the top bunk in the middle of the night, and I slept without a pillow for most of the night.
I think I remember that. I remember it was in the middle of the night, and I heard something go, like just flop on the ground. I was up for a second, and I fell back asleep. I think it was probably the pillow or something else. Probably somebody getting up, but yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, it was quite funny. And also, that was when I first got my contact lenses, and they didn't have a sink or a bathroom, so I could look in the mirror and have it a lot easier putting them in and out.
Trace and
So I had to freehand it, just get the wall.
I mean, you've
Yeah.
been on how many campouts with your contacts, and you've been
That was
okay
like-
since.
But that was like the first one ever, and I was like, I never done this freehand without a mirror. Like, I don't understand.
Also,
without a sink or anything, but yeah.
I have no
It was pretty easy, though.
coordination no more.
What?
I said I have no hand-eye coordination no more.
Oh, well, I thought I did. I'm the fumbler, right? Well, I think I'm dyslexic. I forgot again. Hang on.
Does it?
I'm the-
that's not the description of dyslexia. I don't think.
Oh,
It really
I'm dyslexic. I
isn't.
forgot.
Yeah, you
I'm
can't
dyslexic,
read.
so I-
Terrible. I can read just all the words. I just switch around on me, but yeah. So the mystery trip was quite fun. Just to say the absolute least, it was
He has
the
a
best
script.
camp I've ever been on. So yeah.
All right. What about last
So,
year's
That
trip?
was my camping story.
I mean, last year's
Last
mystery
year's trip was
trip.
also pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was springtime, but it was also snowing on our way out. And the trailer was, get this, iced over.
Oh, yeah.
And guess
we were on
the
the-
two idiots that decided to
Yeah.
put their hands on that trailer at a truck stop.
On the trailer, a cone of ice.
So,
Us two. We decided to see who could put our hands on it for the longest.
and Trayson was begging
One
me
of
to
you
take
should've
off
licked
my
it.
hand.
So we were there for like 5 minutes, putting a hand on this icy trailer. Like, why? Take off! I swear. If you do, I'll pay $5. Do it for like 5 minutes straight. Our hands were like,
Shoulda licked it.
turning blue.
The best $5 of my life.
Oh, I see. I did. Oh wait. Oh, did I? What did I pay you? I forgot.
I don't know. Doesn't matter
I
at
don't
this
know.
point.
I think we both kind of won and lost at the same time because we didn't. I don't think any of us. took our
It
hand off
changes
first or
everything
last.
about your friendship.
Yes, very much.
I mean, $5 is $5.
$5 years
That
ago.
trailer was full of ice, and like we just kept our hands on it. My hand was turning blue almost.
So
Yeah.
we got
Fun time.
frostbite that night.
Yeah, I was riding in the car, and I was just holding my hand in my chest because it was so cold.
Back in my
anyway.
day, we used to take ice baths.
Back in my day, we would walk 100 miles to go to high school and back.
I do have a story, not over Boy Scouts nor camping, because I never really did much of that. However, whenever I was 6 or 7 years old, my family would constantly have bonfires on the beach.
Ooh, nice.
And I would just kind of be
Fun.
there, and every time I moved, the smoke would just follow me and just blind me. Every second. I was never having a fun time.
You know what you gotta say? You gotta say, I hate white rabbits, I hate white rabbits, I hate white rabbits, okay? 3 times in a row, fast,
Exactly.
boom. You're racist.
And
Yeah.
what happens if I do that? Get a hex on me?
You're racist.
It's supposed...
My family told me that that the smoke follows the people who are like hot or whatever.
Yes, I heard that one too. Yeah,
What?
I don't know
You're
where
hot,
that-
apparently.
because we've all sat in the smoke of fire, and then burned out
No.
lungs in the process.
Any singular time there's a fire lit near me, it just blinds me.
Well, I guess you're hot now. I don't know.
Drop
Am I,
it like it's
am I
hot.
handsome Squidward all of a sudden?
To smoke more. I like smoke Green Day.
Drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Oh crap, he's actually on fire! Talk and roll!
Drop it!
With it would be you. Like, apparently.
Don't worry, if we are ever near a campfire, just sit on the opposite side of me. You'll have the freshest air.
You would make a sacrifice for.
While I'm blind and my eye, I'm just tearing up.
But I was blind and I can't breathe. We're all sitting there just fine and dandy.
We should have a bumbling, tumbling, idiots, like, camping trip. Like, we all plan a camping trip.
Oh no!
Alex wants to go.
Sometime in the fall, in the wintertime.
Yeah, in the wintertime when it's
Last
cold as
time
hell.
my friends got eaten by a bear.
Nice.
What? Last time little Johnny got bitten by a copperhead. What?
Yeah, he's dead now.
Last time my friends got eaten by a bear, 3
There's
a.m.
no point on the rope.
The bear was actually a person.
What?
Is this an Una Sanas
bear?
reference?
No.
I don't know.
It's those
that
horrible, like, YouTube kids, like,
Yeah.
3 a.m. challenges, quote, unquote.
Quote unquote. Okay. So I got
The bear was
another.
actually jumping.
I got another camping story for you, y'all.
Let's go. Let's do it. Yes.
Okay, so this is this was a float trip. It was canoeing. We were all canoeing. This actually is with like, so I don't know if Trayson was in it yet, but Alex, if you remember
Wait.
in it all,
Yeah.
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 I
So
do.
so we were on this float trip, and it was early in the morning. We had just finished cooking breakfast and cleaning that up, and we're on the river. And we're on it for quite a while. I'm in the back of the canoe, he's in the front. Now, towards the end, we've been... I think we didn't dunk it a single time in the river at that point, but we were kind of getting tired.
Nice.
Either that, or we had actually dunked it in the river a couple times. I don't recall. It was either of the two.
I don't mean you did, Wyatt.
So anyway,
Yeah.
we're reaching the end of this, and then we reach this bend. It's a sharp turn to the right. So we have to coordinate pretty well. And before we got onto the canoe, we were given some advice, and I was going to take that advice to my grave. Anyway, we start taking that
When you do
turn.
that, can you call it the vibe?
We start taking
Taking
that
that turn was the worst mistake of your life.
We're like at the back as well. So we start taking that turn, and then all of a sudden, the canoe starts to turn, like, it starts to flip over to the left. Water's kind of seeping in a little bit, and we're like, uh-oh.
Ow.
The other direction. Go to the other direction. It's like, so we lean to the right, and then we start leaning aggressively to the right, and we have the opposite problem. So we're like, to the left now. And then, almost as a twist of fate,
Dangerous game of don't rock the boat.
as a dangerous twist of fate, we lean over and the canoe completely flips upside down. And we're all in the water, everything's in the water, and we're like, ooh, it's cold.
Well, I think your first reaction would be.
Also, there was a guy up on the gravel bar.
Too, actually, yeah.
There was a guy up on the gravel bar, like, fishing or something, and he must have been laughing his butt off. I mean, like,
he probably couldn't breathe. He was laughing so hard.
because he just watched two idiots
These
flip a
darn
canoe.
kids don't know how to raft.
Yeah, I don't think I was there in that camp out, unfortunately. But I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, that's
Was
why
secretly the fisherman.
Secretly, it was him who got the hook on the canoe and did himself.
Casually, barely tilts canoe. Cuts line instantly, makes them wobble out of control, makes them capsize instantly.
Haha, I got another one. I got him.
But anyway, dude.
Yeah, well, I remember a few times on some of the float trips, we also flipped a couple canoes. Fun times.
Have you ever
So
been
how's
whitewater
the
rafting?
I mean, there's still a bit. No, that's the dark humor joke. I ain't gonna say. Never mind. I was gonna finish that. I mean, the kids are still in the basement. The wife's upstairs. What?
I mean, why aren't they all in the basement,
You
Jason?
nothing.
No! Oh no!
Wait, what?
What?
I mean, they're playing.
I mean, equality
they're
for
playing
all.
down there, the Xbox. Wait, what?
I said equality for all, you know? If you got one in chains, you gotta have them all, right?
Yeah, that's not. I mean,
Back
Sure.
to camping, folks.
Alright,
can't
back
everybody,
to it.
So this one time, it. Yeah.
Alex, do you have any more stories?
I mean, nothing that's like.
I might have a story.
My stories are like super.
I have no camping stories. I just casually lied.
Okay.
No.
So,
How dare you
I,
betray us?
I'm gonna start talking about my job at the summer camp, Camp Llewellyn.
Yes.
So,
Camp Llewellyn. Yeah.
yeah, anyway, this isn't quite the funny story.
Understandable.
So, one week we called Hell Week because everyone on staff pretty much got COVID.
Oh yeah.
It was the third week out of 4, and everyone got COVID. It was like the theme song for that week was Another One Bites the Dust.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
And then I
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I ended up catching it on Thursday, but like the test was super weird because instead of like a clearly visible line, it was like a barely visible line, and it didn't show it just once; it showed it twice. And then
You're pregnant?
so then
Dun, dun, dun.
so
Brian, you have a kid.
you know,
Gonna be a dad.
it was more of like
No,
those
it was
nasal
the
swab
father.
tests.
Aww.
So anyway, I go out that Thursday night, sad because I had to leave what was a barely functionable staff at that point. Luckily, my job wasn't that too important because there were other people that could easily take it over. So I
I'm
get
surprised you're not talking, Wyatt, about the list of the dead.
the what?
What?
The list of the damned. The people that kept disappearing.
Oh.
The people that kept disappearing. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, everyone started to drop like flies. Like, I mean, it started with. So we had 2 people on staff that were named. I'm gonna use aliases. They were both named Mike. So
we have Mike 1 and Mike 2. The first Mike doesn't really work that well, but the second one works pretty good.
So we had Red Mike and Green Mike. That's how we identified them. Okay, Red Mike is more of like he wore a red hoodie, a red jacket all the time, and then Green Mike was just, well, he was kind of normal. So anyway, they both arrive at camp that Sunday of the week, up the 3rd week, that Sunday, and they both end up having COVID. Coincidentally, they both had COVID at the same time. So I think that started a chain reaction of people getting COVID. And like,
hey kid, you want a COVID shot? It's guaranteed to get sick.
Don't use the same mics.
We also had a new guy join that week as well.
Is the red mic the evil mic? Was the red mic the evil mic?
He worked in the trading post, actually.
Oh, just because he's red don't mean that he's evil.
He poisoned the food.
Oh no.
Okay, maybe he is evil.
Ow.
So
the food was COVID.
Anyway,
we once and then there it went.
And then I think it was dinner, or it was either dinner. It was a dinner of it's either Sunday dinner or Monday dinner. I can't remember. But it was, the power had gone out as well throughout the entire camp. So we in the dining hall, they had air conditioning, but once the power goes out, whoop-de-doo, you got a bunch of sweaty people just making this room even hotter and hotter because the humidity keeps going up and up.
I hate when it happens.
So anyway, after dinner, every person on staff went to go get tested for COVID. It was like we waited outside. We waited outside like it was.
People started the domino effect.
Luckily, I was not one of the people that left that night, but I'm pretty sure at least 2 tested positive.
Wow.
And then the week keeps going on, and then Wednesday, I'm pretty sure some people actually dropped Tuesday, but then Wednesday, our camp director, the camp director, the person that kind of keeps everything together, he's no longer with us. He's gone.
He died?
Yeah, he died in the middle of camp. No, he got COVID and left.
Okay, cool, alright.
That's a way less tragic backstory. Rewind it.
Yes, let's go back to that video and let's do that.
Okay, so anyway, he passed away in his office, and then another person had COVID, and after our OA ceremony that Wednesday night, I went back to the main office, and I was sitting next to this guy named, we're gonna use the alias as Phoenix. So this Phoenix person, he has COVID, and I'm like sitting right next to him, and he's like showing me a video on like my phone of like this old YouTube channel or something. And then he's done showing me it.
Was he also currently breathing down your neck?
Pretty much, yeah. So then he's gone the next morning, and I'm like, oh god.
Do you want COVID?
I broke your breast eggs back up.
So Thursday morning, I noticed some signs of COVID from the person that sits directly across from me at breakfast. And it doesn't help that
his breath tastes that bad.
And it doesn't help that when I went to the main office after my first, after teaching some scouts, that person that sat across from me actually left camp due to having COVID. Then I'm like all paranoid. It's like, do I have it? Will I get it? I was sitting next to the person that had it. I sat across from the person that had it. I've been in close contact with at least 3 different people. And then later on, I got sent home because I tested positive.
Wow.
Darn.
So
if you drink from the water hose when you're a kid, you have a strong immune system. There you go.
So that's
No. If you eat dirt when you're a kid, that's when you have a strong immune system.
And the two, same, yeah.
So that is officially known as Hell Week.
Wow.
But when I arrived,
Silence.
okay, so we had
Well, I mean, it's hell.
So we had a week of so between the 3rd and the 4th week of camp, the 4th week being our final week, it was a week. It was 4th of July on that week, so we didn't have camp that week. So I come back the Saturday of that. I come back on a Saturday. And we're setting up for camp. Now for dinner, we actually have a barbecue, and we're not on contract at this point because we have contracts, and we're contractually obligated to be at camp at certain times, and we have to check in and out of camp. And apparently, the person that is in charge of this is our camp director.
Oh. Nice.
But you could be led to a false premonition because Phoenix was the guy who he was always in the office, and, well, I mean, our camp director was always in the office too, but he was always at, like, the front desk, and I just kind of assumed that he was the one in charge.
He was the real director.
I thought he was the one in charge of, like, people checking in and out. So we're not on contract, and we're like, hey, what if we went out and played like D&D in the Bluff? So we're like, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. So one of my buddies, he's like, okay, I'll drive. We need to get everything ready, though. So, like, an hour later, I run up to our program director, the guy that's in charge of maintaining the program areas, and, well, I don't know the hierarchy of needs here, but so I asked him, hey, would it be okay if we left camp? And I thought he said yes. I thought. And then I asked Phoenix, the guy that I am pretty sure, I'm 99.99999% sure is the guy that's in charge of check-ins and checkouts. So I asked him, it's like, hey, would it be cool if we left camp? He's like, he pauses, he's like, I wouldn't see why there's anything wrong with it. You just have to be back by, I think, 11 a.m. the next day. It was like, cool. We'll be back anyway. And then I don't pay it any thought that maybe our camp director, which was pretty much sitting right next to everyone that I asked. Like, I asked publicly, aloud, in a group of people with our camp director sitting within that group of people. So, like, if, like, anything, our camp director probably should have heard me. Maybe. Who knows? He's a little old, so who knows? I won't give him any blame. It's kind of me to blame. So we go out.
It was completely your fault. You should have known who the director was.
I know who the director is. I just didn't know
It's
that
like meeting the president and asking who you are.
Shh. Anyway, I mean, here's the thing: a bunch of us in this vehicle were first-year staffers, except for the driver, who was a second-year staffer. It was his second year staffing at the camp, so if anything, he could have worn.
Everybody.
I mean, it's a moral gray area. I'm not going to say anybody is in the fault or.
I'm not going to say anyone's wrong.
Somebody's in the fault. No.
So
in the wrong.
By the time we're Jesus Christ. Okay, cool. I'm back. I'm good. All right. So where did I leave off?
2, 1, action.
Okay, so by the time we're checking out of the camp, it's the program director. He is currently painting. Trayson, you've seen my totem. So he's painting things, these things called totems. Everybody gets one, and we all kind of contribute on making them, but it's a prize for what they are. So he's currently painting them in the office, and then we go sign out while he's in there. And we're like, bye, and then we go to the bluff, and we start. I actually talked to, I don't know if you know this guy. I'm probably going to bleep his name out anyway.
Bleep.
Yes, that's my boyfriend. Continue.
Anyway, I go to Valkyrie Gaming.
Okay.
With my friends, and I talk to,
Bleep.
might be a guest in the future, and,
Bleep.
who was at the counter.
Bleep.
Really doesn't believe that. Well, he just refuses to accept the fact that I'm in the Boy Scouts.
There's no way. No way.
It's impossible.
So
That's impossible.
So then we go to Baskin Robbins, I think. Because we're like, hey, we're in town,
Nice.
why not waste some money and have a good time? But here's the thing: COVID restrictions for 10 days after you get COVID. The first 5 you need to quarantine, and the next 5 you have to wear a mask out in public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on day 10.
I remember those rules.
Now another person in my car was on day, I don't know, but they got it after me. They got it. They got it a day. They got it at some point after I had gotten it. So I was on my final day, and I was like, you know what? There's no way I could give COVID. Like, I mean, I didn't even
no possible way.
like the tests were even unsure about my possibilities of having it. Like, I took 3, and all of them were faint. So it's like, of course.
Your body was just like, I don't know if you got it, man. You might.
Like,
You don't
yeah, a little
know.
bit. The antibodies are getting it, but like, it's still in the blood system. Like, maybe.
So anyway, we're in a full car, a full truck, might I add. There's 5 people in this truck,
All around the
3 crammed in the back,
idea.
and I'm in the
Real
front.
smart
I'm
idea.
in the passenger seat. Okay, so at least I'm not getting COVID from that person in the back. I don't know if I could have.
At least you thought.
but at least I thought. Then we started part 2 to Hell Week.
Oh god. Part 2 next season. Like.
No, so we get back to camp, and I don't know who it was, but as I walked up to the office, someone walking away from it was like, the camp director wants to talk to you. And I was like, that's not a good sign. It's like so. So where's the driver? It's like he's parking. So I go into the office, and he's just staring at the other two who went in before me, and looks at me, and I just kind of walk back out.
You're next, buddy.
I walked back out to get the driver. I was like, hey, you might want to come in, because before I walked into the office, he was like, hey, could you sign me back in? I was like, sure. So it's like, the camp director wants to talk to us, and I'm not thinking he wants to throw us a surprise party because of his look. So we might be screwed. So I let him walk into the office in front of me, and I close the door behind us. And we walk up to the front counter and sign in. And he's like, so, where have you been?
Do you know the reason I called you here?
And then and we were like, oh, we were in the Bluff. We were actually at one of the nerd shops in the Bluff.
We were having some raves. You want to join?
And then he questions the two people that kind of needed a mask. Where's your mask? I was like, oh crap. I knew I should have packed it. I had intentionally, I held the mask in my hand before leaving. I was like, do I need this? Nah.
Little did you know, that was the worst mistake you made that summer.
So then I kind of like cover my mouth with my shirt. I'm like, panic. And then he
boy, that's not gonna save you now.
So at this summer camp, we had days off or nights off. So a night off, we would leave camp around dinner time in street clothing, and not Boy Scout clothing. So if we did anything bad, no one would associate us with the Boy Scouts. You know, just in case.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because you want to be doing like wild shit while you're out.
It's gonna be you breaking the law.
So we usually leave around dinner time, which is 6. After the campers go into the dining hall, and then we go out until God knows what time. I think the curfew for people that were under 18 were 12. 1 for people who were between the ages of 18 and 21, and back by breakfast the next morning if you were 21. Sober and not hungover.
Sober, not hungover. Perfect.
So he took everyone's night off away, and we were kind of bummed. It's like, oh well, I mean, at least we had fun tonight. I try to look at the bright side, at least. So
yeah,
everyone else just glared at you.
And yet the bright side was a dim hallway.
Later on in the week, I had talked to other people about it. I was like, hey, our camp director kind of punished us, and that's why so-and-so, our driver, got less time for his night out. I'm just skipping ahead. I'll go back. So then they talked about how another group had went out after us. I was like, interesting. Oh, wow. But they didn't have their night offs taken away. But you know what? They had logical reasons. Because someone forgot to pack. I don't know what they forgot to pack, but I think they forgot to pack a pillow or something. And the camp director...
never mind.
They actually went to the camp director. But the camp director was like
Not
so.
a pillow.
They told me the camp director was like so condescending, like he didn't understand how people could forget to pack something. It's like, bro, we're human beings.
How could you forget? You irresponsible piece of crap.
How do you forget to pack a singular pillow?
I would have experience.
Culver's name is. Shut up. No.
But the worst part
Worst
is,
joke I've ever made. I feel so bad.
I learned that another group had actually went before me, before my group, before the dinner.
So 3 groups win.
Yes, but they had no repercussions. You see, they had gone to basically the same place, did basically the same stuff before dinner. And were not reprimanded for it. I was like, that's a little BS. Playing favorites, are we? And then,
Hey, no, I'm being a little biased over
Your
here.
fault.
yeah, my fault. Sorry, my fault. So, going back in
bad.
time, it's Sunday morning, and our camp director pulls aside everyone in the group except one person. Like, he actually calls everyone that went out with my group except one person, and instead had another person. He called a different person. So he gave us our night offs back, but shortened the night off of the driver, the person who drove us, by 2 hours. He also asked, like, who organized this? Who's the ringleader in all this? That was his wording. Who was the ringleader? Like, I mean, no one really. I mean, I
Very depressingly says me.
like, I mean, I didn't come up with the idea of it, but I did kind of encourage it.
You kind of are the
fun.
reason it happened.
I mean, I was the one who
Listen,
asked everyone but the
I was
camp
the one-
director.
Ow. That hurt.
Yeah, I was the one who told everyone it was okay to go. But I wasn't the one who caused any of this to happen.
Someone else brought up, like, hey, we could actually go to town. And it was like, that's a good idea. But the card shop closes at 8.
Sounds
There's a
very
different
fun.
card shop in the Bluff that closes later. And then I was like, okay, we could do this. We could actually do this. And then I
Make it.
actually stepped forward. I was
Make
like,
a house.
I was the one that I kinda did this. I was kind of the ringleader. He paid me no mind after I stepped forward, and he punished the driver.
Wow.
So you're the one that did this? Yeah, it's not your fault. Driver, come here.
You shouldn't have drove. But, like, I mean,
He's a good boy. You're the reason it happened.
the thing is,
fair. Without the drive, they wouldn't have even gotten out of there.
fair enough. But I mean, like, it was just so crazy because, like, that entire week, like, everyone on staff kind of knew about the story. Not just because of me telling one person, but, like, everyone kind of knew about it. And it was like, that's kind of BS. He
worst.
shouldn't have shortened your night off like that. Talking to the driver. It's like, you could go with someone that has a longer night out. Like, what is he gonna do? Fire you? It's the last week of camp. Plus, he'd have an entire staff angry over it.
Yeah, the morality would be a little low then.
I mean, I wasn't the one who
Just a
said
little bit.
that, but it was one of the area directors that was talking to the driver, and I just so happened to be in the conversation.
Remember, Wyatt, it's your fault this happened.
It's all your fault. That's why they died. Wait, what?
I just like shoots a side glance at you, like, why would you do this to me?
Come on, buddy. I thought we were friends.
Oh, I also have another story from camp. If none of you have any other stories.
Actually, I actually do. I do.
Okay, okay.
Me.
Okay, speak, Trace, and you can speak now.
So it was last year. It was a summer camp, and it was I think it was Wednesday night. Yeah, it was after like family came and stuff, and like pizza and all that stuff, and yeah. And
So your family
and then
came.
I think it was Wednesday night, and so me and you, so as we're in the same tent as we usually are, and I told you about this like more than once about this, but it was Wednesday night.
I think
it was
we talked about the
in the middle of the
Wendigo,
night,
didn't we?
like 11:30. Wait, what? Oh,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we talked about some cryptid.
It was a scary story thing on the that same day we were talking about cryptids and stuff like the Wendigo, and the rake and stuff and all that.
Or we were either talking about who was the party pooper. Remember that guy who smeared feces all over the bathroom wall?
On the porta potties and stuff, yeah.
This was not a conversation that was needed to be said.
So we were like,
It happened,
we were trying to detect, like, one night we were talking and we were like, okay, so who could have smeared crap all over the bathroom wall?
Again, not needed input.
Okay,
no, it's an interesting story.
We're going off track here.
I mean, it's quite the crap story, but it's a good story.
The crap story, yeah. Okay, but so it was Wednesday night, and okay, so basically we were talking about that and cryptids like a Wendigo, the rake, whatever else, yeah, Bigfoot, whatever. And me and Wyatt, so me and you, we were in the tent and we fell asleep as you do that night.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about it, and we were saying if you talk about it, he'll come and get you, like ha, yeah. So later that night, in the middle of the night, it was like 12 a.m. Like I swear, there was no sunlight. It was pitch black. The whole tent was out. Plus,
If it was midnight, then that would be self-explanatory.
Yeah. I was setting the stage. Okay, anyway, so it was completely dark, nothing to be seen, and I wake up for no reason. Like it's just a random. You wake up in the middle of the night, and you wake up like, okay, cool, back to sleep now. But the thing is, I couldn't fall asleep, and I was laying there for a solid like 2 minutes. Like, okay, I'm trying to sleep now, and it ain't working. And all of a sudden, I hear sounds outside the tent, and then I don't know. Sure, yeah. Okay, not really, but like I started hearing sounds, and then I heard the crackle and the snapping of a tree that then falls down and goes. It hits the ground. I am frozen in my cot, like, oh my god, my sleeping bag is at my chin, like, oh no. Oh, okay, so I was frozen in fear for a second. A whole
Are you
tree
a ghost?
I fell, hearing sounds outside the tent. I was like, oh my god, what just happened? Like, okay, if I lay still, hide in my sleeping bag, it can't get me.
That's the biggest jump I've ever heard.
Exactly, like, yeah, right. Is it that sound? But yeah,
So
it was out of nowhere, a whole tree just falls down. I don't even know. And so yeah, I was frozen in fear, and then eventually I fell asleep. And and the next day I was telling Wyatt about it, and I asked other people, "Did you hear a tree fall last night?" Nobody heard it. I asked like the whole troop. Nobody heard any tree fall over last night. Just me.
You know what could have happened?
So coincidence? I think not.
I don't know if you've heard the story of Red Eyes. But
Red Eyes, yeah, the Wendigo dude.
That guy.
Red Eyes.
He's a skinwalker, actually.
It could have been him, yeah.
He's an SK. Anyway.
Oh, that's right, yeah, I forgot that, yeah.
No, it's an SW.
Yeah, it could have been him though, but it was weird.
He was
scary.
probably looking for you. You taunted him, didn't you?
I talked about the cryptid that wasn't meant to.
He was looking for you, and you.
Just a warning.
No.
What?
No. We were waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Eye's creeping that far away from Mount Logan's it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, let's wait for that.
Is this when you reveal, Wyatt, that you were actually secretly out there just chopping trees down for some firewood the whole time? Like,
Yeah,
You know,
I threw on my flannel, grabbed my
chopping down
axe.
trees, yeah. Yeah, it was fun times. And,
I walked into the
on
tent
same day, I
grunting.
went around in the woods so on the same day, I went around. On Thursday, I went around. Free time. I was around the campsite trying to look in the woods if any tree or anything fell. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a good-sized tree that would have made that noise that close that close to the tent. I was like, I don't know where a tree fell. Like was it in my imagination? Like, I don't know. Man.
Imagine the tree fell onto our
Stop
tent.
having hallucinations.
I guess it was a hallucination. I don't know. I was tripping balls. Anyway,
Balls were tripped.
so yeah. So creepy times.
Balls were tripped.
I tripped over some balls. You know, it sucked.
yeah, the tree did too.
Yeah, very early. I made noise on the way down.
Yeah, the shrooms from that tree, man.
You heard the tree fall in the forest. It does make a sound.
It do.
Apparently no one else heard that sound, but it do make a sound.
Except me. I found out trees make sound when they fall.
Oh yeah.
Dang, bro, you did.
I mean, I was walking through summer camp late at night a couple of times, and we just heard. I was either alone. I've heard it alone, and I've also heard it like with a group. Just a tree falling in the woods. Like when you're alone and you hear that.
Oh, wow.
If you're walking the trail alone with a flashlight that is dim.
Oh,
that
is a creepy sound to hear.
If you're the only one awake the entire night and that happens, like
especially
the sound of a tree falling is actually so creepy.
Especially
Is SpongeBob saying at the top of his lungs, "I soiled it. I soiled it."
what?
The slow crashing and the branches falling, it's terrifying sometimes.
But, like, especially when you hear that, and you're, like, on a trail that supposedly has a skinwalker on it.
Oh, God.
A notorious skinwalker that actually has a name of Red Eyes. It's like, okay, let me scan the tree line right quick. And let me make a prayer real quick and accept my fate.
Please, Lord, don't go to heaven. Like when I die. Oh, there it is.
You would start asking, like, praying for forgiveness on the spot, just like, please.
You just get down on your knees. Please don't kill me.
It's just Allah Akbar all over again.
I want the 72 virgins.
I'll get the reference. Okay.
I like how that was like an uncomfortable laugh. It's like,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so.
The only other story I have is, like, one time my dad just, like, he hates camping. So one night,
mosquitoes.
like, we woke up and he just, like, wasn't in the tent. And like, what? And so we walk over and he's just in the car. He stole the blankets and it was like cold out. He stole the blankets, went to the car, and just slept in the car.
That's reasonable. Yeah, that's reasonable.
you see, sense. You can lock a car, but you can't lock a tent.
Yeah, you're not from a grizzly bear.
The sea bear.
You should have started like banging and scratching on the car window.
The car is, let me in, daddy. Let me in. Just like knocking at it.
Who's your daddy?
Papa now.
Sure. Yeah, that'd get it out.
That'd get a rise out of anyone. Our guest.
Ooh.
Our first ever guest for the second ever episode.
Yay. Who's that?
There'll be. I haven't had a Well, it doesn't matter. We don't have aliases on here. We just call each other by our names. Isn't that right, Tumble?
Isn't that right, Bumble?
Yes.
Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Fumble? That's me. Hang on.
But many of,
yeah, true. Yeah, it's true. True.
okay, many of you might know of Carissa. So that's who's our guest. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to other people.
You get the service to the test.
Can we have like a massive bleep editor?
Bleep.
Future me who's editing this. I don't know if we could have that part. I think that's copyrighted. I don't know what leads me to believe that. So that was the bumbling
Bumbling.
And fumbling.
Stumbling.
idiots, and we're out. Cut. That was a great shoot, everybody. All right.
Peace. Yeah.
That
Okay.
was
That
absolutely wonderful. Well
could
practiced.
be.
Well practiced.
I think.
I mean, it
I'll be
could.
cleaned up and everything. Fine.